Oh, baby, the eve of preseason game number 1. I know we're all excited here. Harry, oh, man, Harry was doing cartwheels into his microphone. Jason Martinez doing somersaults. Me, jumping jacks for preseason game number 1 tomorrow night against the Bengals. We'll get into that. We'll also get into Jalen Hurts taking his next step as a leader of the Philadelphia Eagles. All that and more on the Eagles Squad Show.
Fly, Eagles, fly. It's the Eagles Squad, sponsored by Gametime. Everything Philadelphia Eagles every week, covering all the big hits and game-changing plays from the city of brotherly love, the way only the Locked On Podcast Network can. Get ready and squad up. It's the Eagles Squad Show starting now.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. That's Harry Mays, Jason Martinez, Marc Farzetta, Locked On Eagles Squad Show. Yes, it is the eve, the day before the Eagles kick off their preseason. To play or not to play? Who to play and who not to play? Those are the questions we'll examine. We'll also talk about a brand new addition to the Eagles cornerback room, as well as competition between Keely Ringo and Adoree Jackson, with Jacorian Bennett being added to the fold, a 4th-round pick out of Alabama. Harry, just before we even talk about anything else, I do want to tell you that this made me think of you because boy. I was like, I had a Harry Mays thought. I was like, oh, he's from Alabama, but he didn't go to Alabama. How good's this guy going to be?
Yeah.
That was
like being from Harvard, but not going to Harvard.
Yeah.
When it comes to football.
I went to Boston Community College, but I'm from Harvard. Anyway, that's one of the first thoughts I had on Jacorian Bennett, 4th-round pick, 24 years old. We'll see what he brings to the table. But also, what really was just on my mind since Jalen Hurts addressed the media yesterday was the next step he is taking in being the leader of this football team. And this might fall under the Nick Sirianni high school Harry category, that some people just quickly sweep this under that rug. But I think this is significant. And the reason I find it to be significant is because Jalen Hurts was the guy 2 years ago that people were asking to be a vocal leader. Jalen Hurts was the guy that would often just put things on A.J. Brown's shoulders when it came to anything being needed to be said on the offensive side of the football. Jalen Hurts crossed that bridge last year to being more of a vocal leader and talking guys up. And we saw that at the very end of the Super Bowl, as a matter of fact, all the guys he went around to. Now the next step is him crossing the line of scrimmage and talking to the defensive players. Twice now we've heard him talking about Quinyon Mitchell taking the next step as a player and being more comfortable in what Vic Fangio is doing. Well, if last year was any semblance of uncomfortable, then I can't wait to see what comfortable looks like for Quinyon Mitchell. And then he also talked up Jihaad Campbell, Eagles rookie, edge rusher, linebacker, depending on how they're going to deploy him in this upcoming season. This, to me, gentlemen, and Jason, I'll ask you this first, this is something that I did not expect from Jalen Hurts. I expected him to continue just to be the quiet type, the guy that just wants to lead by example on the football field. But him getting in the ear of not just offensive players now, but also defensive players, and making sure that they're at their highest level of confidence going into this season is something I did not expect from him. For all the great things that he does, I did not expect him to venture out this far from his comfort zone.
Yeah, and look, this is part of the maturation process of a young player as he gains confidence and he gains his voice as a leader. And it has to happen organically, because you can't just kind of do what another guy did, because it's not natural and then it's not authentic. And I think guys in a locker room in a team sport always know when a guy's trying to be something he's not, and it's disingenuous and it doesn't work. And oftentimes it has the opposite effect on a guy trying to be a leader. But this is him just growing as a leader. And I think that the reason why he's extended the olive branch to the other side of the ball is something that happened in the beginning of his career. And that was the fact that Carson Wentz did not extend that olive branch to the other side of the ball. And he saw the resentment that built up around the entirety of the football team because he didn't. Quarterbacks are always going to be treated differently. It's whether you like it or not, it's just the way it is. The position means more. And a leader can do so much if it's authentic and organic in its growth of becoming the leader that he is. And seeing that Carson Wentz polarized the team by not doing that probably resided somewhere in the recesses of his brain. And when he felt comfortable, he decided to do it. And it just happens to coincide with the the season after he wins the Super Bowl and was the MVP, which is great, which is empowering. But I think that is a direct effect of the effect that he saw of Carson Wentz not doing it and knowing how much it does matter to the guys on that side of the ball and how much he can lead them as well, even though he's not in the same meeting rooms as them very often.
Yeah, I think you're spot on with that whole thing about Wentz, and Jalen Hurts, seeing how that affected the rest of the team. I mean, it was such a weird scene between Wentz and even members of the offense. Like, there were certain guys that, regardless of the side of the ball that they played, that he would just fraternize with, and then other guys that, he really wouldn't have a whole lot to say, to or about. And here you have Jalen Hurts commenting on, not only like talking to the guys on the defense, but also commenting on them, knowingly. So he's paying attention to what these guys are doing in practice and what they're doing in the locker room. Now, they're not in the same meeting rooms and all that, so he has nothing to say there. But like, it took a little while. Like, it wasn't like, hey, I see the way Wentz is, not being, sort of bringing this team together, and then it immediately happened for Hurts. It took a few years, and that's sort of the organic thing that you're referring to, too. I think it was sort of like he had to feel his way, find his way, to sort of recognize his own voice, and being an MVP of a Super Bowl and coming off that with such a great team that could go right back there again this year. If it wasn't going to start this year, then maybe it never would have started. So, but I too was shocked too when I saw him even knowingly comment, being asked about players on the defense and having so much stuff to say. That doesn't happen all the time. And
he's breaking down how they're performing.
Yeah.
He's paying attention.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was Quinyon Mitchell who picked him off last week, and I think got him again this week.
Yeah, he got him yesterday, I think.
Yeah, and he goes up to him, and he's like, that's the thing that's so amazing, is that we're not used to seeing that. Like, we've all been to training camp, we've all seen this before. Very rarely do we ever see a quarterback go over on the defensive side of the ball and be like, hey, what's working for you this year? Like, that doesn't happen. Maybe that gets said in the locker room. Maybe they get said, walking the halls in the cafeteria. But to cross the field, so to speak, and go up to a guy like Quinyon Mitchell and be like, hey, man, you're stickier, a hell of a lot stickier than when you were here last year, and you were still pretty good. Like, we all know how good Quinyon Mitchell was last year. So what's working for you? And he said, this is what's interesting. It's not just the fact that Jalen Hurts did it. It's also the response he got from Quinyon Mitchell. And I didn't expect this. Jalen Hurts just said it. He goes, Quinyon just told me he's comfortable. Last year, he wasn't that comfortable. I'm like, what? He goes, last year, he said he wasn't that confident. This year, he's more confident. I'm like, hold on a minute. Quinyon Mitchell was the guy that I think, as the story goes, didn't even say hello to A.J. Brown. The first thing he did was tell him that his route was trash. That was the first time they spoke.
First correspondence.
Right.
That was the first correspondence.
Yeah.
And that wasn't confident. He wasn't confident then. So after a year of being one of the best defensive players on one of the best defenses in the NFL, what level of confidence? Like, have you broken through a new ceiling?
Yeah.
Like, have you to get to an all new level of confidence? Because to be comfortable and confident in this defense for a guy like Quinyon Mitchell, oh my goodness, the next step he could take.
That's kind of scary when you think about it in those terms. And it's like, man, let's just get the season started, because I don't know how much he's going to play in the preseason, and I know we're going to talk about that later in this episode. But it's like, man, I can't wait to see him going up against C.D. Lamb or was it the guy they got from Pittsburgh? His name escapes me right now, the wide receiver. Either one. I mean, I can't wait to see that matchup on Thursday Night Football.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Maybe last year, and the talking trash to A.J. Brown was kind of fake it till you make it thing. You convince yourself that you belong, and you verbalize those things. I mean, clearly he's a confident guy last year. You could see it in the way he played and the way he would attack the ball. But this year, now that he's comfortable, maybe we see maybe there were some jitters there last year, which is why he didn't come down with any interceptions in the regular season last year. And now he comes into this season full of just swole. As AI used to say, I'm all swolled up. Yeah. Swolled up with confidence.
Yeah, it's George Pickens who I was thinking of.
Yep.
Bam Man 100.
For Dallas. Yeah.
Put it on the chat there. So thank you, Bam Man.
Yeah. So he comes into this season feeling really confident, comfortable. a lot more comfortable. I think he's comparing it to last year too, how he felt at this time. Even though he was confident last year, he feels a lot more comfortable now, knowing what the expectation is, not only of training camp and what it's like to go through an NFL training camp, but what are his places on this defense. I would imagine as a rookie, you come into the league and you go, I don't know where I fit in this league. I really don't. And to do what he did last year and then come into this year and have an offseason to train, going through what you went through, knowing the rigors of an NFL schedule, and also knowing where now you fit. And now you go, okay, I know where I fit and I know where I can push the envelope. Like that year 2 bump is a real deal. So that's great to see. And we wouldn't have got that information unless Hurts went over and said something to him, because he wouldn't have revealed it on his own to the media.
I don't know if you guys are feeling this, and maybe it's because sort of a function of there's not a whole lot to discuss with this team, at this time. Like, there's not a whole lot of question marks. You know what I mean? Like,
that's a good thing.
Where the media, would be asking about those kinds of issues, and there really aren't any of those issues. We were talking about the right guard. That seems to be working itself out. And, there's some other small ones, but there's really not a lot there. So the media is like, what do we do? Well, let's ask this guy about a guy he's playing against in practice. Like, because I'm seeing a whole lot of Saquon talking about Jihaad Campbell. We had Mailata talking about Hunt earlier a couple weeks ago. And there's a lot of offensive guys stroking the guys on defense and vice versa on this team. I don't think that's very normal either around the league.
Yeah, it's weird to not have any scabs to pick.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Like usually, I mean, look, we've been in this city for years and years and years, had no the problem with having a lot of things to debate and discuss going into a season. It's really rare that you're coming off a Super Bowl where you beat this juggernaut. You beat the brakes off of them last year, and you come into this year feeling just as good. It's really bizarre. It's a weird position to be in as a Philadelphia sports fan, considering our history and what we've gone through. I don't know if some people don't feel comfortable in that. But when it comes to the Eagles, I think it's becoming a more comfortable position because it's becoming the predicted position year in and year out, which is also almost weird.
I don't know about you guys either, but this has been the longest week and a half start of a preseason and training camp. My God.
The Hall of Fame game was 2 months ago.
It feels like a Hall of Fame game was in exactly 6 weeks ago. By the way, I watched that every second from start to finish. The Hall of Fame game.
A lot of commentary on our Twitter.
I was thoroughly entertained with the Chargers that night.
Were you kidnapped? Was somebody punishing you?
No.
He's just happy football's back.
There was nothing else to watch. And I'm like, this is pretty good. I bet the Chargers now to win the AFC West as a result of that.
Based on that game, Harry?
Yeah, based on that. I love Harbaugh. I'm going to root my ass off for him in that division.
Yeah, you want him to come over there and hit your shoulders? Hit your shoulders?
I want him to just body block Andy Reid after the first time when they play the next week, they play the first week of the season in South America, I think, on Friday Night Football. I can't wait for that game too.
Yeah, you gotta get Harry to khakis and the whole thing.
Yeah, and the whole thing.
Man. Have the Sharpie hanging from the necklace from the lanyard, if you will.
I'm a huge fan of that, by the way. I love the Sharpie hanging off the lanyard.
Yeah, it shows I can take a note at any second. Watch me. Just watch me. I got this ready to go. It does beat the hell out of the pens that Sirianni used to have in his visor.
Remember that? Oh, yeah.
It's burned on my brain, Fred.
That was weird.
He spoke yesterday, Sirianni. Did you guys hear him yesterday?
Yeah. Yes, of course,
I thought he was awesome yesterday in the stuff he said. And
the competition stuff was great.
Yeah, and about how they prepare and putting in, he went through their install and all that stuff, and talked about how they're preparing in game situations. It's not only the players that have to prepare, but the coaching staff situationally has to be ready for all that stuff, and really talked up some guys. But, it's weird because, he annoyed me before when he would speak. But when you win, it changes everything.
Yeah,
your
the
perception
ultimate deodorant. Yeah.
I'm listening to him going, the dude's a Super Bowl winning coach. His stuff sounded goofy to me. And, patronizing before, but now I'm fully bought in. I imagine what it's like in that locker room.
Was he wearing one of those T-shirts, the pandering T-shirts? Because
yes, Devontae Smith.
He was.
He was wearing Devontae Smith's T-shirt.
Okay.
I think it was Devontae's charity event or football clinic or something,
Okay.
but yeah, it was something Devontae Smith. Yeah.
All right. So he's still doing that.
Yeah. I didn't. I was listening. I didn't see it. Thank goodness. He would have annoyed me more if I saw it.
Yeah, I'm sure
they
do.
I think it is.
Buy-in.
Yeah, I think it's the hokiest, again, high school hairiest stuff you could think of. But these players are like, well, that's great. Yeah. And you know what? I got to say this, and I'll credit my friend Mike Sealski, who brought this to my attention. This was after the Flower Power speech with Sirianni those years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And Mike said this. He admitted to this. And then I agreed with it because it makes sense. Mike said he didn't. I agree. I don't either. I don't know how to identify with a locker room full of 25-year-old football players. I thought I did. I think I know how to communicate with those guys. But apparently Nick Sirianni has cracked the code on being able to reach those players and get them to points of motivation and preparedness for an NFL game in a much different way than many people are used to hearing.
Yeah.
He knows how to hit the nail on the head with the new generation.
He's one of the younger coaches. I mean, I think that has a lot to do with it. And there's been a shift to that, in a lot of professional sports, NBA, NFL, and the Major League Baseball.
A younger voice.
They're getting younger guys, being managers, guys who are just out of their playing careers. So apparently it's a thing. Probably you need to be that young to communicate with these young guys.
Yeah.
Us old heads don't know how to do it anymore.
Yeah. We're of a different generation of the players now. You can't just tell them what to do. You got to tell them why they need to do what they need to do. You need to show them film and all that stuff because they now question it. They go, well, you want me to do this? Why? When I was growing up, why was because I said so. That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of us could identify more with Vic Fangio than we can Nick Sirianni.
Absolutely.
But Vic Fangio, in a totally different way, also gets the job done. Not as a head coach, but as a coordinator, certainly gets his message across.
Right. I've had beers with 100 Vic Fangio. I mean, seriously. And I'll have beers with 100 more.
Yeah, right.
But he's great. But he's cracked the code too.
Yeah, I think I was almost raised by Vic Fangio. Yeah. Now that I think about it, there's one more name I want to mention. There's one more name I want to mention with Jalen Hurts. Getting back to the Quinyon Mitchell thing with the Jalen Hurts. There's one more name. Did you guys catch this? One more name that he brought up that he spoke to, and it's a rookie. Jihaad Campbell.
Everybody talks about him.
Yeah. A year. Look, 1 year Quinyon Mitchell's here. You've won a Super Bowl. You're 1 for 1 in Super Bowl victories with Quinyon Mitchell being here, right? So he's certainly earned his stripes. He's got a year under his belt. You won a championship. He's part of great defense.
Started from week one.
Week one. The fact that an NFL Super Bowl winning and Super Bowl MVP quarterback is talking about feeling the presence of Jihaad Campbell in training camp. Usually to me, it'd be like, okay, yeah, whatever. But Harry, like you said, there's not a lot you can break down right now defensively. So you're trying to get to know what the Eagles really have. And we can't see that yet with Jihaad Campbell as he's only practicing right now. I doubt coming back from injury, we're going to see him in a preseason game. I would be surprised to see him out there tomorrow night.
Yeah.
But you're really trying to understand what the Eagles have here.
Yeah.
And what the Eagles have here, you're talking about a quarterback, talking about the presence of a rookie, either edge rusher or linebacker. That's something. That means he's doing something right if Jalen Hurts is already feeling him. Even though you're also talking about him getting through this offensive line already, and Jalen Hurts is feeling that presence, Harry, that to me definitely raises my eyebrows.
Oh, it does. And I'm sure Vic Fangio doesn't appreciate it because then he's going to have to throw some cold water on it at some point. Okay, quit listening to Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley blowing up this guy because I gotta knock him down a few pegs. We're a long way from week one. But yeah, he's off to a great start. And maybe this also is in the light of, these guys on offense realize that the Eagles lost a lot on defense. They lost a lot of veteran leadership in Brandon Graham. They lost a lot of, get to the quarterback stuff. with guys like Sweat. They lost a big anchor in the middle, in Milton Williams. And what's this defense going to look like? And maybe it's just one of those things like, hey, Howie did a hell of a job because this guy's looking like a beast. This guy's going to be a problem. And it's sort of like maybe that's part of the whole thing too. They realized that they had some holes to fill. And
Slay also,
right, Slay as well, and right now it looks like they've filled them.
Well, the thing is too with Campbell, you look at him; he's a rarity in Eagle Land, a first-round pick used on a linebacker.
Yeah,
it just doesn't happen very often, and he comes into a good situation from a depth perspective where he's not going to have it all thrown on him right away. Although I agree with you, Harry. Vic Fangio is going to do the old ice bucket challenge on him and cool him off a little bit.
No doubt about it.
Get the swelling of that head down from the Super Bowl MVP and ground him a little bit.
Vic Fangio might have to have a little sit down with the media. Quit asking these offensive players about my players, will you please?
Yeah.
Find something else.
Yeah. I'll give you extra availability. Ask me.
Right.
What is a motivational speaker? What would it be? A demotivational speaker? What would it be? You're not that great.
Yeah.
All right. You're not
Settle
Micah
down.
Parsons. You just cool your jets, friend. What would the opposite of Matt Foley? That's what that would be. So all right, we'll get into that a little bit more as the show goes on. Also, they did make an acquisition. Jacorian Bennett, ladies and gentlemen. Former 4th-round pick. We're going to talk about what that means for the Eagles in their cornerback room as training camp moves on and the preseason approaches tomorrow night. We'll get into that when we return. This is Locked On Eagles Squad Show on the Locked On Eagles YouTube channel. And let me tell you right now about Yahoo Fantasy. You guys getting in on this? This episode is brought to you by Yahoo Fantasy. The best time of the year, NFL kickoff almost here, and that means fantasy football season is back in full swing, and this year Yahoo Fantasy is turning things up with a fantasy football experience like never before. I use Yahoo Fantasy Football every single year with my league. 12 players in it. We have ourselves a good time, but Yahoo Fantasy doing something extra special this time around. You should weather the storm when it comes to Yahoo Fantasy. I've used Yahoo Fantasy for years. One of my favorite features, the new Guillotine Leagues. They just dropped. Every week, the lowest scoring team is eliminated. How great is that? Get rid of the worst one right away. The last one standing in the Guillotine League wins. Whether you're all in on something new or you're sticking to head-to-head leagues or jumping into public leagues, Yahoo's got you covered. To kick it off, how about this? Celebrate 28 years of fantasy football greatness. Yahoo Fantasy is dropping 28 big new features over 28 days throughout August. To kick it off, they just dropped Yahoo Fantasy Guillotine Leagues, a killer new way to play fantasy football on Yahoo, where the lowest scoring team, like I said, is eliminated each week until there's one team left. With the season around the corner, now's the time to get your league together and give this new mode a try. If you're more into classics, let's say with fantasy football, you can still play head-to-head private leagues or join a public league. Stay tuned for more killer announcements and start playing Yahoo Fantasy Football now at yahoofantasy.com/LockedOnNFL. Jacorian Bennett, new to the cornerback room. As I've mentioned before, 4th-round pick, 24 years old, from Alabama, but went to Maryland to finish out his college career. How about this? I in no way mean to say that this makes him better than Cooper DeJean, but just for perspective, Cooper DeJean defended 6 passes last year. He defended 8. He also had 7 starts under his belt before he dealt with what I believe was a shoulder injury last year with the Rams. So they sent Thomas Booker IV, the defensive tackle, to the Vegas
Las
Raiders.
Vegas, yeah.
Still going to get used to that one. Still got to get used to that one. And they brought in this corner. Harry, is he in the mix to be a starting corner versus Keely Ringo and Adoree Jackson?
Well, I think at this point, it's depth. But hey, this Adoree Jackson Keely Ringo battle is pretty intriguing, and I think it's the one that's going to keep smoldering here, maybe until after week 2 of the preseason, before it really shakes out. But if you can acquire, you can't have enough cornerbacks in this league that can play. That's something that Howie Roseman has kind of always believed in. He didn't always get it right, but there was always a lot of stuff going on in that room. And if Moro Ojomo made Booker expendable. So hey, we can send this guy. We don't have to use up a draft pick. We can get a 4th-round pick that's pretty sticky, as you mentioned, with the passes defended. He's got 11 in 2 years and hasn't even played a full 2 years because of the injury that you mentioned about his shoulder. So obviously he's a pretty sticky cornerback, 5'11". I guess the Raiders have a bunch of bigger corners that made this guy expendable in their eyes. And, it's a deal that, might have worked out maybe for both, may end up working out for both teams. But I don't think you can have enough good cornerbacks. And, if you're going to go in with Quinyon, Cooper, and let's say Adoree Jackson, who appears to be slightly in the lead for that other outside position, let's say those are your starters. Maybe you move this guy, Jacorian Bennett, right up to number 4. And you don't have to rely on guys like a rookie like McWilliams or a guy like Ricks to be pushed up the depth chart. You could sort of stick this guy right in as your 4th cornerback.
You got to wonder, did they make this move because the other 2 guys who have both had chances to run as the 1 with the first team haven't impressed?
Enough?
Enough to go, okay, we feel comfortable. I don't know that they feel if you're looking for the one question mark, the most glaring one, this is probably it, with Steen kind of solidifying that right guard, his position, and kind of being the starter there. But you look at, with Ringo and Jackson, both guys have had some opportunity. Ringo's had a little more opportunity with the ones than Jackson has, but neither guy has really just grabbed it and said, this is my job, and they're going to have to wrestle it away from my cold, dead hand, so.
But they haven't played a game yet against another team. That's the whole thing. Like, we're going to learn, or they're going to learn a lot on, Thursday night when they have to go up against the Bengals players. So
I think what we're going to see with the rotation here is one of the guys, whether it's Jackson's going to get the kind of the start in this game and Ringo will get it in the next one, and they'll kind of go, okay, who kind of performed better? Where are we depth-wise here? But did they get Jacorian because they've been underwhelmed in what they've seen out of both guys?
Yeah.
And a guy that has dealt with some injuries, but has shown an ability in the NFL with the Raiders to be able to. I think he started like 11 or 14 games in his 2 years.
Yeah.
So, is he a guy that they've identified, or that Vic Fangio has identified as a guy that can come in here and execute what he wants him to do? That's the other part of the equation, because we've seen him do that with, you look at a guy like Zach Bond, who we weren't expecting big things of when they got him, and look what happened.
Yeah. I think anytime you're getting a guy who has started as much as he did, granted, he's only 24 years old. He's not like some proven NFL commodity,
Yeah.
Or, first round pedigree type guy. He's a dude out of Maryland, as we mentioned, but he's also a guy that I think is good enough to fuel the fire of the competition between Jackson and Ringo. And maybe that's what the Eagles are looking to do. Plus, Harry, to your point, they always want corners. I mean, last year, you had Darius Slay here. You had just drafted 2 corners. You had Keely Ringo. You had Isaiah Rodgers.
Right.
Now what do you have? You don't have Rodgers. You don't have Slay. You still have one corner that you could look at last year in Keely Ringo. Now you brought in another veteran corner in the offseason in Jackson. You're still looking at it and go, what else do I got? Eli Ricks? What else do I got? Keep adding to the fold here. Mac McWilliams? Like, who are you going to be looking at to bring in here? So I think it's definitely to add depth. That's the home run of making this acquisition. The other is to, fan that flame that's lit under both these guys' butts when it comes to getting them going, to really take hold of who's going to be the number 1 corner opposite Quinyon Mitchell. I should say number 2 corner opposite Quinyon Mitchell. Also, who's going to keep Cooper DeJean in either the slot to play nickel, or who's going to have him out there to play safety in the occurrences that they need him to play safety. But there's one other part of this that I find really intriguing. I think, Harry, it was you that touched on it here. Eagles are feeling pretty good even without Milton Williams. That's what jumps to mind for me. Yeah. Because Thomas Booker played limited last year, but when he played, talk about presence being felt. He made his presence being felt. Moro Ojomo has been one of the most talked about guys on the defensive line. He's been one of the best stories of the defensive line. He's gotten a lot of compliments from the offensive linemen. You're also looking at Ty Robinson coming in out of Nebraska, their rookie. He apparently has impressed a bunch since coming here, checking every box according to Vic Fangio. Vic Fangio didn't have anything bad to say about him. He just said, yeah, I like where he's at.
That's positive.
That's the best. That's the most optimistic I ever heard Vic Fangio. Right. You know, he's just saying like, yeah, I like where he's at. I'm like, wow, this guy's going to the Hall of Fame now, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
But Ty Robinson, Moro Jomo,
Byron Young,
Davis going out there, losing the weight, working on his technique, and then also having Jalen Carter coming into his own as a defensive tackle in this league, like he did last year, and taking another step forward this year as well. This said to me, this move and getting Jacorian Bennett from the Raiders, it said, okay, add more to that competition at corner, definitely. Absolutely add depth. But I think the Eagles are better than a lot of people are anticipating without Milton Williams at the defensive tackle
We're
spot.
good here at tackle. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Absolutely.
These moves, it's worst case scenario, insurance policy. And you don't want your GM to have to go out there to make a move if some guys get injured or can't perform, and then teams sense your desperation. You lose a lot of hand in trade negotiations when you're negotiating from a position of, you know, if you do that now when you're not in that position, you give up a whole lot less because it's the foresight to go, yeah, football's a tough sport. We lose guys. And if we lose guys and we got this guy sitting there and the cost per acquisition is not that high and he makes me sleep better at night if somebody gets hurt and I got depth, then hey, let's do it now before I have to pay a premium because other teams know that I'm kind of up against it now. And I'm in a bad position of negotiation. So this is how he's using that. This is the things he learned over the years, is to put himself in a position of always having the hand in any kind of deal making, whether it's contracts or trades, because he's been a wizard with it. It's why they're one of the youngest teams in the NFL coming off a Super Bowl. It's pretty wild.
Also, this is the first move he's ever made with the Raiders. I didn't realize that. This first trade he's ever made with the Raiders. Second, let me ask this, and when it comes
depending
to
how it goes, it might be the last.
Well, there's somebody in the Raiders front office now that used to be with the Eagles too.
Oh, that's right.
I forget his name.
Anthony Patch.
Anthony Patch.
Is that who it is?
Not Patch Adams.
Not Patch Adams. Now, don't get confused now. All right. Although he might be having the clown nose on after this trade. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, sorry. That was a reach. Anyway, I'll show myself out. But here's the question I have for you, Jason. I'll ask you this one first. How much does this impact Cooper DeJean's movement in terms of, are they looking at this to really be the cure-all for the cornerback position on the outside opposite Quinyon Mitchell? Are they now looking at Cooper DeJean to stay in the nickel? Is he still very much in play to be on the outside, or is he going to be, dabbling at the safety position?
I'm going Temple football answer. TBD on the start time. I don't know yet. They don't know yet.
Why you got to do that?
Why
do you got to do that?
An unsolicited, gratuitous shot.
When I was doing scheduling
Harry,
as an assistant program director, I always had to, putting the schedule together.
Yeah.
Well, when's Temple play? That's still TBD. It's Thursday, for goodness sake.
Yeah.
The game's on Saturday.
It was never a Thursday TBD for a Saturday game, and you know that.
Well,
that's a total exaggeration.
Maybe I'm exaggerating a bit, Harry.
Yeah, a bit.
But as far as Cooper DeJean goes, TBD on this Wednesday before the Thursday game, because they just don't know yet. They don't know how much they want to put him on in those situations and accentuate his skill set, because they don't know what they don't have yet. When they figure out what they don't have, that's when we'll see how much Cooper DeJean picks up that, because is he a better option if other guys can't get the job done by moving him around? It's the versatility you like to have. You go, okay, we've got a solution if we need to move him in the nickel or something like that, but we don't know if it's a necessity or a need right now. They'll find that out in time. We haven't even played a preseason game yet. I don't even know how much we actually learn from these preseason games in this day and age.
Oh, I can't wait to find out. I'm tailgating already, by the way. I'm already pre-gaming.
We are going to take an informal vote before this episode ends.
Oh, yeah?
About ending the preseason early, Harry.
Oh.
And I have a feeling it's going to be a landslide to end it early. I've had
Well,
enough.
Just like amongst the three of us, or are we including our chat as well?
No,
chat
just
too.
the three of us because you
Okay.
can't have an even number of voters.
Oh,
We can't
okay.
have a
Yeah,
dead,
right.
We have to have a tiebreaker.
Right.
Not that we're all going to be in
right.
concert here together.
Yeah. I can't believe
Yeah.
they got a preseason game on a Saturday afternoon coming up. That's going to really impact my weekend.
1 o'clock
Have
too,
we-
Harry.
Yeah.
Have we ever seen? I can't remember a time where a Saturday 1 o'clock game.
I don't remember, but
I don't
my
remember
memory's
that
not
either.
what it used to be. But yeah,
Well,
I mean, how about
Here's
that?
the thing: the Saturday 1 o'clock game, we're going to treat that for Harry's sake and his liver as a dry run for the college football season.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Not,
Yeah.
Wait a
not
minute.
that
I feel like
dry
they-
though, Harry.
Yeah.
I feel like they did that in was it Cleveland,
Yeah,
where
that's
they just
Cleveland.
they ran the ball. No. The Eagles played. I think it was in Cleveland, and I think Darren Sproles was still here, and they just ran the ball every play on their first possession, and it was like 11 rushing attempts. We're all like, well, there you go. They're gonna be a running team, whatever. I want to say that was an afternoon game. I want to
And
say
that was a
Saturday
preseason
afternoon.
game?
Preseason game.
Yeah. Okay.
I want to say, and quite frankly, I'm gonna say, I think that was a Saturday afternoon game.
Okay.
Was that the
fellas.
Sammy Sleeves preseason game, Harry?
No. That was Green. That was Green Bay. The
Yeah, that was
wheel
Green
route
Bay.
to
Yeah,
Sproles, and everyone
yeah.
lost their damn minds. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Sammy Sleeves.
Oh, Anthony had his lawn chair up, saving a parking spot on Broad Street after that preseason game.
Wow.
Jason,
That
to
when
your
Ben
point,
Simmons made that 3 in China,
Oh,
he
yeah.
had his lawn chair out for that one too.
Oh, yeah.
hey, it was versus China. It wasn't in China. That was in South Philly against
Oh,
the
okay.
Guangzhou Lone Lions. You're
Nice.
welcome. Yeah.
China, Harry.
Your point about Cooper DeJean. Your point. Vic Fangio is very real about this. And I think you're right. Establishing a baseline of what Cooper DeJean can do and saying, if you want the job, be better than that. You're right. I think that's the emergency break glass. What's behind Cooper DeJean could be your job. But as of right now, I don't think there is anything that is getting Vic Fangio off the mindset of having Cooper DeJean out there as much as humanly possible. I don't think Adoree Jackson's doing that yet. I don't think Keely Ringo's doing that yet. I think it'll take a lot for Jacorian Bennett to come in here and do that. I think Vic Fangio's looking at this and being like, okay, hold on a second. Just for my point, not that Vic Fangio is thinking this, but hold on. I got the 60th best player in the NFL, according to the NFL Top 100 in Cooper DeJean. I got the 49th best player in the NFL, according to the Top 100 in Quinyon Mitchell. Let me make sure these guys are out here as much as humanly possible. Oh, I have an opening at the other cornerback spot? Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and have Cooper DeJean play that spot as much as I possibly can. Oh, I can have Cooper DeJean on the field more if I need to drop back in the safety spot. Maybe Drew Akuba is a guy playing in the nickel. All right, I'm going to have him do that. That's his number one guy at 3 different positions right now because he wants him out there every single defensive snap.
Yeah, you want him on the
That's
field.
going to be hard to top.
And I think, we tend to always look at situations like this when they happen. Like, oh, well, this guy must not be that good. In other words, where he's looking at Cooper DeJean to take that spot, or, oh, man, that guy's not that good. Well, Cooper DeJean can play there too. It's always, we look at it as, well, the guy that we think is supposed to be there may not be good enough. I don't know that it is that. I think it's just that Vic Fangio realizes he's got a player that he can put so many different places. Imagine being the quarterback of the opposing team, and all of a sudden you go to the line of scrimmage, and there's Cooper DeJean in a different spot where you haven't seen him before. Like how much that's going to throw, and where he can do different things from that position on the field, where the quarterback now has to and the other team has to account for him. Like it's more of a chess piece that he can just move around, as opposed to thinking he's moving them around because the other pieces aren't good enough. Does that make any sense?
A whole lot of sense.
All right.
A whole
That's
lot
3D
of sense.
chess, Harry.
All right.
That is
2000 ELO chess.
Yeah. Oh, gee.
That's
I don't
Cooper
even know
DeJean
what that
talking
is.
about Patrick
That's how you
Mahomes
rate a
in the
chess
Super
player.
Bowl.
Yeah.
He's looking at it going, okay, he thinks, okay, so he knows Zach Ball is coming up on him here. Let me read where he's probably going to go to avoid Zach Ball, and that's where I'm going to be. That's reading 2 pretty damn good defensive players and the second one jumping on the mistake. The first one forcing it, the second one taking advantage of it. Mm-hmm. Now you're trying to guess where he's going to be on the football field. I mean, in this day and age where you're talking about, anybody can wear any number, it's a lot more difficult to determine where your defensive players are going to be because they can mix in so well. Well, now if you got a guy playing 3 different positions during the course of a game, oh man, your head could be spinning as the season's going on. Vic Fangio is that mad scientist right now in the lab, just watching the beakers boil, and they all got Cooper DeJean's name on them, and he's just thinking, how do I unleash this fury? That's what he's thinking about right now.
How do I do it to have maximum efficacy? When do I do it? You know what I mean? Like you hold it. No, not here. This is when it wins me a game that we shouldn't win or something like that. Yeah, efficacy. Good word, Harry, right?
You can tell the guy who's been to a lot of hospitals coming up with that word.
Yeah.
Efficacy.
Your treatment has had good efficacy.
Yeah.
What the hell
was that?
Can you give that to me in idiot terms, please? It's working.
Jason, you said something to go I want to jump into in a second before we get to preseason playing time. And this has to do with words that are on repeat in my head from Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, because the Eagles literally have someone just like Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, except he's even better at his job. We're going to talk about that person when we return. This is Locked On Eagles Squad Show on the Locked On Eagles YouTube channel. And hey, let me tell you about FanDuel. You guys getting involved in FanDuel? You should be. NFL season right around the corner. Baseball in full swing, whatever it might be. Summer sports are in full swing. And whether they're all about baseball under the lights, golf on the green, high-stakes soccer action, or football Americano, as we like to talk about here. Go Birds, by the way. FanDuel is the best way to make every game even more exciting. You're already following the action. Why not make it a little bit more thrilling with FanDuel? You can get in on the game while your friends are getting sunburned on the beach in the final days of summer. I've been using FanDuel to track my favorite matchups, and the app keeps it fresh every day with daily promotions and fun ways to bet. It's easy to use, fast payouts, that's the best part, and makes every regular season game feel like a must-watch event, just like Joan Duran coming in to close out a game for the Phillies. Whether I'm placing the same game parlay or watching a bet right into the 9th inning, FanDuel makes it feel like I'm part of the action. New to FanDuel, new customers can bet just $5. Bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets when your first bet wins. Open the FanDuel app today or visit FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com. That is FanDuel.com, gentlemen.
Yeah, so
remember that?
Your fantasy, I take it you partake in some fantasy leagues, Mark?
A fantasy league.
A fantasy league, okay.
A fantasy
How many
league. And yes, legitimately, it is Yahoo Fantasy, yes.
How many people are in it? How long have you been doing it? Like,
the league has been around for, I want to say, about 20 years.
Oh,
I've
wow.
been in it. Yeah, I've been in the league for, I think, 13 of those 20 years. Yeah.
When's your draft? At the end of the month?
Yes.
You used to have to wait until that last preseason game was over to kind of try and do it.
You know, this is a great question here, because my brother is the one that runs the league. He started the league. He runs the league. I have an older brother. Jason's been a couple of times there. He insists on doing the live in-person draft with the board scotch taped to the wall, to which I hate because, you know, technology's cool. And it's usually Labor Day weekend. I'm usually in Virginia visiting my wife's family. I rush back to get to my brother's house in time to sit there on a folding chair in an uncomfortable position to try to, you know, go through the draft and all that for like 6 hours. So I don't like it. The COVID was great for fantasy football because we're all remote.
Putting draft picks in your queue.
It's perfect.
Auto draft after the 5th round.
And I've talked to his friend. Now, it's mostly his friends. It's one of our cousins, and it's mostly my brother's friends. I've talked to them all. They all don't want to do it this way. My brother insists on doing it this way, and everyone does it this way. So, I don't know. Am I being a jerk, or is my brother nuts?
I applaud your brother because he's hanging on to something that's important. And that's the boys being together in the same room for 6 hours in an uncomfortable chair. Not everything needs to be easy.
Yeah.
Did you hit the nail on the head with hanging on to something? The guy still has a Blockbuster video card, Jason.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah. Well, he's a lunch lady.
Jeez.
He is a lunch.
Is his email a Hotmail or AOL?
Yeah. You've got mail. You're like, dude, you have got to update. No, but I appreciate that. Somebody hanging on to, you know, everything's fast nowadays, except for fast food.
Right.
That's no longer fast because it's not fast enough. but you got everything is like the blink of an eye. You see these AI videos and stuff people are creating. They're outrageous.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Unbelievable.
It's like you type in 16 words, you get a full 60-second commercial of a Hollywood film.
Yeah. Take O'Marion Hampton in one of your later rounds if he's still around.
Well, hey, all right.
Okay.
If I'm still awake and don't have a sleepy leg by then, I'll take him.
He's the rookie running back for the Chargers that came out of North Carolina.
You are so Charger. You haven't been this chargered up since junior sale second year, Harry.
Oh my God! Goodness
wow.
gracious!
Yeah.
We got to get Harry a Chargers jersey.
I had one because my buddy used to play right guard for them, Mike Goff.
Okay.
Played for the Bengals for a bunch of years, and then went Chargers and Bengals. And
is he a Temple product, Harry?
No, he went to Iowa.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he went to Iowa.
Yeah,
that's where the offensive linemen come from, and tight ends come out of Iowa.
The best Goff to ever play in the NFL. I'll tell you that much right now.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Zero doubt.
Yeah, or that running back that Pittsburgh got from Iowa.
Yeah.
That dude is gonna get worked.
I was out in Pittsburgh last weekend visiting my college roommate. My college roommate married my wife's best friend, and they live out there in Pittsburgh, right outside the city. And he was pumping that guy up about, I mean, they got Rodgers, of course, out there too.
Caleb Johnson.
Yeah.
Caleb Johnson.
He's going to be a workhorse for him.
He's going to be a bull.
Yeah. And Pittsburgh's DNA, they always got a good line.
Yeah.
Wow. We'll see if they're able to move it forward now. They haven't of late, I know, but
yeah.
It was cool being out there though, like because that's a good football city, Harry.
Oh yeah, totally.
You know, and coming from here and being the Super Bowl champs, like it's fun to go out there with a little bit of chest out. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like Steelers have 6 Lombardis. They're one of the great franchises with great football DNA. They know exactly who they are as an organization, and to go out there, kind of walking around and going into the sheets. With your chest out and Eagles shirt on is pretty fun. Yeah.
No Iron City?
No, I went right by it, though. You see it right down there.
That stuff's horrible.
Yeah, I see light.
Brutal.
Yeah, I'm so not a beer guy that terrible beer tastes great to me. That's where I'm at when it comes to beers and whatnot.
Yeah, that's not good. That's water from the Monongahela.
All right, the preseason.
Oh, I'm sorry, Harry. Let me just. I want to deliver on this tease that I hit before. Just real quick, Jason, you mentioned this, and it was dealing with different members of the secondary and all that stuff. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. Just fellas, real quick. Remember when Chauncey Gardner-Johnson was like, "Oh, the Eagles don't want a competitor. The Eagles don't want. They don't want. That's why I'm not there. They don't want a competitor. Okay, and all that stuff." What is Jalen Carter doing during training camp? And Harry, you touched on this too when it came to the trash talk. That's a lot of the conversation here in the training camp. Jalen Carter apparently is talking all that ish to Saquon Barkley. Jihaad Campbell's not exactly a quiet type either, but Jalen Carter is the one that's starting a lot of stuff, and he'll put the quarter in the machine, so to speak. Did you see him addressing the media the other day? He was talking about all this. He's just like, yeah, as a rookie, I just kind of minded my P's and Q's, but just tried to make big plays and speak through my play. Right. But he's like, now, I mean, there's no Fletcher Cox here, and I'm 2 years now removed. I'm 2 years in the league, I should say.
No Brandon Graham.
Right.
Yeah.
He's not afraid, but he does it at interesting times. He said he really picks his spots. In other words, if you're Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, you don't wait till the referee's right next to the player you're trash talking. You wait till the referee goes away, and then you trash talk.
Yeah.
And that's what Jalen Carter did. I remember the hand to the face of Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl of all times. Like, he doesn't back down to anybody. So It just got me thinking, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson is the guy that wants to push people out. Jalen Carter is Chauncey Gardner-Johnson on the defensive line, except, like I said before the break, he's a lot more talented at his job.
Right. Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I want to hear him mic'd up and have it like, that's the thing. I get so like upset with the NFL when they do this mic'd up and they never give you the real stuff. Like they'll play some of the mic'd up on a pregame or whatever. And it's the worst. Like, give me somebody mic'd up and let me hear everything.
Yeah.
You know, he would be
because you
great.
know there's more there.
Oh, there's got to be so
The
much.
gold is in there.
Yes.
Like you've worked a sideline before.
Yeah. Oh,
both
yeah.
of you guys.
Yeah.
You know what's going on down there.
Mm-hmm.
And the gold is very NFL Films would deliver it back in the day, but the gold is not being delivered with those mic'd up.
It's being censored.
Yeah, it's
it definitely
safe.
is.
Yeah.
It's being safe because
Yeah.
God forbid somebody get offended or something about something that happens on a competitive field of play.
Right.
But to go back to your point, Mark, as guys move on with big personalities, like when a Brandon Graham leaves, that leaves a void of oxygen in that room, and who's going to grab it? Sometimes it takes a guy like Brandon Graham. I would imagine it takes like 3 guys to fill that void, right? or just Jason Kelsey the year prior. But as long as somebody doesn't try to fill that void by being the guy that left, again, it's about being authentic.
Yeah, being yourself.
Yeah. So, but I think this organization's just so on the rails right now. Like, they just seem to be coming up aces with everything they do. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is pretty wild. It is pretty wild. All right, let's get back and talk about the preseason playing time, what we would do, what we wouldn't do, what we want to see, what we expect, and what we'd still just really love to see from a Vic Fangio defense or a Kevin Patullo offense. That's when we return after this quick blink of a break here on Locked On Eagles Squad Show. Anybody would need to see Jalen Hurts play? Anybody in the camp of needing to have him hear Kevin Patullo in his headset before they go into the season? Anybody there?
Nope. I could go for it a little bit.
I want to go full
go
Andy
for it.
Reid, Brian Billick walking the Veterans Stadium turf before the game and canceling it, Harry.
Yeah, I love that. That was
Remember
awesome.
that preseason
That was
game?
great. No, I
You
say
gotta be
that
crazy to play on this field. Are you crazy?
It's got a hole in it.
Yeah, that big. I had like a trench in it.
Yeah,
if I remember. And they
that's
were
right.
trying to sew it together. Oh,
Like the 40-yard line. They're trying to stuff like couch cushion stuff underneath to firm it up.
No, it's totally fine. It's totally fine.
Yeah. Right. No, I say that because I get so annoyed with the first couple weeks of the regular season, which are essentially preseason that count. And you see a lot of bad football in the first couple of weeks in September because the starters don't play and there's not a whole lot of hitting that goes on anymore in practice. That I would like to see my starters in at least 2 of the 3 preseason games and playing, 2-3 series. Like you can't go out, you're not going to learn anything, and it's not worth sending them out there for 1 series of downs. Get them out there and let them play 2-3 series in 2 of the games out of the 3.
Here's where I'm at. Last year, I went into that preseason. And I went, hold on. You got another play caller. This guy's Kellen Moore. He's not elevated from the same system. He's coming in from somewhere else. He's never had him in his headset calling plays in a game situation. Let's just get a series or 2 under his belt, learn that communication, learn how they could be better at it, whatever, before the season starts. And then they went on and won a Super Bowl without doing that, and Jalen Hurts was pretty incredible. So,
although they did start slow in the first month, going 2-2.
They did. They absolutely did. They absolutely did. But they won the Super Bowl. Yeah.
Didn't matter.
Look, what I still in my dream of dreams could just roll up Jalen Hurts in bubble wrap, still behind this offensive line, and have him go out there and do his thing and get Kevin Patullo in his headset for the first time. Yeah, that'd be great. But I'm okay. I'm good. Yeah. I don't need to see Jalen Hurts out there again. I'm that's where I'm at on the quarterback. I think I understand what you're talking about when it comes to the benefit, both of you. But I think if you polled the city of Philadelphia, they go, I think we're all right here.
Yeah. Plus I need to be entertained, man. If they're going to play these games, entertain me. I need to see some stars.
Harry,
Tanner time, baby.
Tanner time. Not going to be entertained. It's like that's like saying I want a really extravagant drink and ordering a vanilla milkshake. It is not going to wow you.
Wow, that's a crazy analogy.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing.
Where'd you get that one from?
I don't know. His brain's not working good. Still got a little chemo fog. Here's the thing. I would direct everyone to Nick Sirianni's press conference yesterday, talking about getting game situation ready. You don't need these preseason games to do it. He's got a joint practice with Cleveland coming up for 2 days in a couple of weeks. They're only doing 1 joint practice opponent this year. So to me, they're simulating these game situations in practice without tackling to the ground. So what's the point in adding any risk?
Well, then put the damn practices on TV.
No, because then we have to do a postcast for every practice, Harry.
Well, like one good practice. They only do like 2 practices against the other team. We could do the game. We could do
just
that
put
as
those 2 practices in and get rid of the games.
Yeah.
So, okay, now you got me. You see, this is I'm seeing you're playing clearly now,
Right?
And I like it.
Right.
Plus, it's a lot earlier the practices than the primetime game ending at 11:30.
Oh boy, I can sense
Cutting into my racing time, Harry.
You're It's
All
F1
right.
simulator time.
Now we're on
Is there any-
cars now. We're on
Oh,
Is,
okay.
is there anything you're looking forward to Thursday night? Because there is. I mean, I'll get it out of the way now. I am looking forward to Tanner McKee, backup quarterback extraordinaire right now, going out there and slinging it. You know what I mean? I'm looking forward to seeing
too,
that.
actually.
Yeah.
Really?
They develop they develop quarterbacks along.
I'm looking forward to the 4th quarter with Kyle McCord. How about that?
I'm looking forward to that too.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to listening to you the 4th quarter where you're. You mean the end when the clock is like straight zeros?
Yes, and then we can start our show and go to bed.
Yeah,
And-
I like the end of
one
the
more
show
thing.
even better.
Vic Fangio plays his starters in the preseason. We actually got a little sample. We had a little sample last year with the Ravens. Now, I doubt you're going to see Nolan Smith. I doubt you're going to see Zach Ball. And you're talking about guys who are going to be starters and guys who are also injured.
You'll
So
see
I don't think
Josh
We've got
Campbell,
some
won't
questions
you?
on that side of the ball. It's not just about people; it's about usage too. So,
Yeah.
not that he's going to, unveil every trick up his sleeve or any.
I want to see Ty Robinson play.
Yeah,
Yeah, there you go.
No?
Me too. As do
Yeah.
I.
I look. It's going to feel good. In all honesty, it's going to feel good just to see Eagles jerseys and helmets on the field.
Damn right.
Coming off a we're coming
Against
off
another
a
team.
against another team, and we're coming off a Super Bowl for God's sake, and it's like Super Bowl or bust again this year. So we don't have to have the silly conversations. Is this team a legit Super Bowl team like we started having last year around week 9, week 10? We're having it's not even a conversation because it is Super Bowl or bust. They got a Super Bowl MVP quarterback. They still got Saquon. They got a great offensive line. They're trying to fill some of the positions that they had some attrition in. It's going to feel good just to see those helmets and jerseys back on the field against an opponent.
We're going to see Jake Browning, a whole lot of Jake Browning and Desmond Ritter at quarterback for Cincinnati.
Wow.
Get ready for
You
that.
might see Burrow. The rumor is you might see
You think?
Burrow.
You
We
think
get
we'll
Burrow
see
first year. I'd like to see Burrow.
Wow.
I'd like Jalen Carter to see Burrow.
I love watching that guy.
Yeah.
There you go.
I do too. I think he's one of those guys I just love watching.
He's great.
Quarterback.
I do. I like Joe Burrow a lot. Real quick, just want to get a couple comments in here before we get out of here. Jeremy Von Skyver, Nolan Smith, a voice in the locker room. I agree. I want to see a preseason game without any injury. Yeah, always no
Both
injuries, no penalties. Like the number one, like Kevin Patullo, I don't want to see the clock hit 2 and they're just breaking the huddle. You know what I mean? The play clock break. You know,
You wouldn't
I
be
wanna
shocked
see-
if it happens, though.
Yeah.
They're
that's true.
trying to iron everything out.
Fan 100, we got to remember the players are young dudes. They're all kind of goofy. Well, compared to us, I guess they are goofy.
Yeah.
That's who Nick Sirianni's speaking to. Jerry Von Skyver likes Eli Ricks. Don't sleep on Eli Ricks. Easy enough. Oh, how about this for an annoying thing with a coach? Matt Patricia and the pencil.
Oh, yeah.
Chewing on the pencil
Very
in his
weird.
ear.
Yeah.
There you go.
Did
That
it
guy-
have
that
John
guy was
Voight's
weird.
teeth marks in it?
Oh, from Seinfeld? Yeah. We could see Chase Brown maybe getting lit up by his brother, Sidney Brown.
Ooh,
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
Yes.
that might be good.
Yeah. Run between the tackles. He comes down, full head of steam.
Little Illinois Illini crime there.
There you go.
Oh,
There you go.
Illini and Illini crying.
Yeah.
Appreciate everybody in the chat. Thank you guys for joining us. Hey, we will have a post squad show tomorrow night following the Eagles and Bengals kicking off their preseason efforts. So we look forward to that. We'll be breaking that down for you right here on the Locked On Eagles YouTube channel. So make sure you guys like and subscribe to the Locked On Eagles YouTube channel. Also, I got you covered coming up later today with the Locked On Phillies postcast, so you don't want to miss that either. And while you're at it, go ahead and check out and like and subscribe to Locked On 76ers as well with me and Keith Pompey. Keep it real with your 76ers each and every day.
And tell your friends about this stinker. We need more subscribers. I'm annoyed here at the level of subscribers.
Yeah, people
absolutely.
got to get a little action.
Let's
here.
go. All right.
A little jump.
Motivate them. Motivate these people. Hey, fellas, a pleasure as always. His name is Harry Mays. His name is Jason Martinez. My name is Marc Farzetta. That other guy, Louis DiBiase's got you covered right here on Locked On Eagles for your daily Locked On Eagles content. So like and subscribe for that as well. Until then, we'll talk to you guys tomorrow night about all things Eagles and preseason game number 1 against the Bengals. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe to Locked On Eagles YouTube channel. Back with you guys tomorrow night. Looking forward to it. See you then.
See you.